If you don't like what happened, or if you think that you have been exposed to something that's racist or prejudicial or something that's wrong, then you make a complaint afterwards and you sue him.
You're saying Gates was wrong?
I'm saying that Skip, perhaps in this instance, might have waited a while, come outside, talk to the officer, and that might have been the end of it. I think he should have reflected on whether or not this was the time to make that big a deal. But he was just home from China, just home from New York. All he wanted to do was get to bed. His door was jammed. And so he was in a mood where he said something.
What about those who say he brings the whole history into that body of a black movement?
That may well be the case, but I still think that it might well have been resolved in a different manner if we didn't have this verbal altercation between the two of them. So my first teaching point for young people especially, not for Dr. Gates, but for young people especially, is when the police are looking into something, and if you're involved in it in one way or another, cooperate. Don't make the situation more difficult. And I think in this case, the situation was made more difficult. On the part of the Cambridge Police Department, once they felt they had to bring Dr. Gates out of the house and to handcuff him, I would have thought at that point, some adult supervision would have stepped in and said, okay, look, it is his house. Come on. Let's not take this any further. Take the handcuffs off. Good night, Dr. Gates.
Were you ever racially profiled?
Yes, many times.
And didn't you ever bring anger to it?
Of course. But, you know, anger is best controlled. And sure, I got mad. I got mad when I as a national security advisor to the President of the United States, I went down to meet somebody at Reagan National Airport, and nobody recognized, nobody thought I could possibly be the national security advisor to the President. I was just a black guy at Reagan National Airport. And it was only when I went up to the counter and said, is my guest here who's waiting for me, did somebody say, oh, you're General Powell. It was inconceivable to him that a black guy could be the national security advisor.
How do you deal with things like that?
You just suck it. What are you going to do? It was a teaching point for him. Yes, I'm the national security advisor. I'm black. And watch, I can do the job. So you have this kind of, there is no African American in this country who has not been exposed to this kind of situation. Do you get angry? Yes. Do you manifest that anger? You protest. You try to get things fixed. But it's kind of the better course of action to take it easy and don't let your anger make the current situation worse.
Jackie Robinson was almost court-martialed, lieutenant of the Army, for being treated roughly.
But remember, when Jackie Robinson then integrated baseball,
he sucked it up.
He sucked it up, and he was told by Branch, Ricky, you know, you're going to hate this. They're going to scream at you. They're going to shout at you. You're going to be subject to all kinds of abuse. But you know what? You're going to beat them because you're going to perform. And that's
what he did. Back.
Peace. Welcome to Definitions in Law. Today's word will be attorney. The source, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Attorney, page 164. In the most general sense, this term denotes an agent or substitute, or one who is appointed and authorized to act in the place or stead of another. One who is put in place, stead, and turn of another to manage his matters of law. Islam.
With this in. Okay, now I'm under the court, right? I'm the white man's nigga, right? Because I got Esquire. I'm not attacking the Moors. I'm making a legal point. Because in another way, I'm a Moor too. I bear witness to the greatness of the Moorish empire. Okay, now I'm under the court, right? I'm the white man's nigga, right? Because I got Esquire. But what I'm teaching you tonight from our greats, our prophets, our messengers is that what Garvey, Elijah, even Noble Ali, Malcolm, Dr. Khalid, Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, the Black Panther Party is the best and only teachers for us, and we want to run from it because we don't want confrontation with this enemy. I'm not attacking the Moors. I'm making a legal point. Because in another way, I'm a Moor too. I bear witness to the greatness of the Moorish
Haven't read the definition section. And that's the same thing with this US code, because the first thing you do is read the definition section, and it tells you that this code applies to federal agencies.
Right.
It does not apply to municipalities that have police forces. They don't need a delegation of authority. And let me just go there. Even if they did, right? And they pull you over and you like, let me see a delegation of authority, and they go, we don't fucking have it. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You're gonna be like, oh, y'all not gonna arrest me now? Dude, you know what I'm saying? You go,
Right.
You're picking yourself up off the floor. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You just cannot win in that realm. And I wish that there was a way that this could be put together in some sort of legally cogent manner, so that it could make sense. But the way that they're going about it, using these laws to support, it's just there's no basis. And there are cases, and I've pulled cases up. One case I believe was some people had been advised by Ali Muhammad, and they lost all that shit because they came in with the whole, we're not, under the jurisdiction, in the courts like, that treaty don't even apply to you. Doesn't even apply to you, right? So they have been advancing the arguments in court, but they get shot down every time. They get shot down every time. And if you are dependent on the enemy to accept your position, then how do you win? How can you win? The enemy is never going to accept your position, right? It is a direct conflict for the United States to say you black people are sovereign. Right, we need them. They need us to continue with the slavery, right? They need that continued economic and political incentives to keep our black asses locked up, right? And so you're not gonna go be sovereign somewhere. No, we're not gonna have that.
And you know what's
which is why I think a lot of people call me an agent, right? I've been called, you're an agent. Why? Because I'm not gonna lie to you. Because I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear. If I walk into court with you, that's not the argument that we're going to advance, sweetheart. Trust me when I tell you it won't work. And I like to walk back out with my clients. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to go in there and make an argument that has no weight. That's the last thing that you want to do. You lose all credibility when you stand up and just say stupid shit.
Yeah. The other thing that they like to talk about is the idea that the United States is a corporation, right?
Yes. Well, it is. That's true. The United States is a corporation. Right. And if you roll all of that back, you'll see exactly the connection between United States being a corporation and the Federal Reserve not being federal at all, and being a private organization. And sure, you can pull back all of that, and see how corrupt our government is.
Do you see your face? What's up, family? It's Lord Ion here, and I just wanted to make a brief video about Brother Polite and how I'm so disappointed in this brother. This brother, displayed the type of intelligence that any man would envy. But at the same time, he started overusing his intelligence, figuring out that he can gain profit from his intelligence. Not only did he write 90 plus books, but they're not copyright written, so it's not of his own work. Another thing I would like to add is the brother has become so flashy. I don't give a damn about where he come from and how he didn't have it. Don't act like that, man. Like, you shitting on the people that you trying to help uplift. You know what I'm saying? You're not seeing that. And I've seen a video. What my problem with Brother Polite was, I seen a video with Young Pharaoh saying that he too was one of the guys that pretty much admired Polite's intelligence and listened to him frequently until he reached out to him to try to get a status correction, and he sent this money in, and they kept giving the guy the runaround about his cash, the status, everything. So young Pharaoh got pissed and he exposed him. And ever since young Pharaoh exposed him, it was just folks coming out the woodwork like, yo, he did me like that too. Like I haven't heard back from him also. Like, so yeah, Brother Polite has been living in Beverly Hills and been living with all his wives and getting out of phantoms and at the court side at NBA games. Like, it's like, brother, you are not showing the people the way to prosperity at all. You're not. And I don't know what to say about the brother. Like, I mean, I don't look for him no more. I don't look to see his videos, see what he has to say anymore, simply because he turned on a lot of people for profit. You know what I mean? Like, he has this fake real estate business that he is janky. Like, this nigga's really janky now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's living lavish, but the jankiness of everything that he got going on with himself is just ridiculous right now. So
we can give up their services. That's how we kill their system. Just give it up. Give up their school. Just homeschool. Give up their system. I understand why people wouldn't listen. Because you have to convince yourself you didn't waste your time all those years. You have to convince yourself you didn't waste your money. You have to convince yourself you ain't teach your children the wrong thing. You see what I'm saying? When you go to school, they say, don't be like those other people that dropped out. You know, you are the elite. You are the successful. They throw the G at you heavy. They throw something tremendous, tremendous G. They throw so much game at you that I would come off as just a slick hustler.
Of that. We are pursuing all of that and all evidence that we are pursuing to lock in this hour. Soon, in a moment, Mr. Polite is going to go into this police station and he is going to fill out a complaint. Not that we have so much confidence in the complaint process, but we want to let the other citizens know that when you have these encounters with the police, follow through. It's not enough to just get mad for a moment and then the next day you all right.
That's right.
You have to follow through because that complaint is building a certain record. And that record we want to have access to in discovery when we file this lawsuit. We want access to that record because many times you will find the contradictions and the lies that you want to find out. All right? Let me introduce to you someone. He's a community supporter of Mr. Polite, and he is an organizer here in this city. And I wanted to introduce to you Brother Ali. He's a leader of the new Black Panther Party in this area. He wants to make a statement.
Thank you so much, family. My name is Ali. I'm the Western Regional Rep of the new Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. I want to speak on behalf of the party, people of Los Angeles, that we support Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz 1,000% supporting Brother Polite here. And once again, brother, this is nothing new. This goes on all the time. But this time, as brother says, we have backup. We're coming. And we're going to fight this 100% to all citizens. The new Black Panther Party is here. And like I said before, we are in 100% support of brother and Dr. Shabazz. Thank you so much.
All right. We thank him and the new Black Panther Party under
Those of you who've been around me know that I've now begun to go back to myself. Go back to that which I believe will sustain me and that which will help to purify me, and have begun to push back and ignore that which I had fallen back down to. More and more I am being guided to study more. If you are not grounded properly, if you are not grounded properly, then you are not going to pick up the correct vibrations from the universe and the cosmos. More and more, I am being guided to study more. Or if we are trying to lift our brother or sister up, the way we do it is just as important as what we say. How we approach them is just as important. Huh? More and more, I am being guided to study more. I have found since my days with the Nation of Islam and no longer being in the mosque that I now draw from all of our spiritual expressions. And that I now have come to, as many of you have heard me say many times, while I was supreme captain or national spokesman or whatever in the Nation of Islam, that if it were not for Africa, if it were not for the original black man and black woman, there would be no Islam, no Christianity, no Judaism. None of the world's major religions, as Dr. Yosef Ben Yachanan, Dr. John Henry Clark, and others have taught us, would be in existence if there were no original black man and woman and no Africa. Africa as it is called now. More and more I am being guided to study more. And I hope that the ancestors will guide me to touch on this Africa thing, to touch on Asiatic. Oh, they say, oh, you got to know what you're doing, boy. But you know it's a whole lot of us in here. I understand more. I'm a Moor. I understand that nationality is the order of the day.
Yes, it is. That's right.
I understand that. More and more, I am being guided to study more. I can't say that I love you, that I care for you, that you are my sister, you are my brother, taking the prefix BR off and leaving other, that you are my other self. And I do not act morally and righteously toward you. I cannot do it. I make myself alive. More and more, I am being guided to study more. Muslim. Are you a Muslim, Khalid? Yes, I am. But I'm a Moor. Islam. I'm a Moor. And got sense enough to know I'm a Moor. And ain't gonna never argue with you that I'm not a Moor. And wouldn't come in your house or come among you and say I'm a Moor if I didn't feel in my heart, in my mind, in my soul that I am. I would tell you, God damn it, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Ain't no more. So if I say it, I mean it. And if I mean it, generally, I say it. Are you a Muslim? Yes. But I know my roots. And I ain't Kunta Kinte.
The leadership of Chairman Hashim and Zinga. Thank you so much. All right. That is what happened. That is what we are dealing with here. And these are the steps that we're going to take. My email is for everybody who wants to email me and to track this case and to track this litigation. My email is attorney.shabazz@yahoo.com. You could even text my cell phone at 202-369-9986, 202-369-9986, and our website is blfjustice.org, Black Lawyers for Justice, blfjustice.org.
You can't just say me I'm black, that means you're dead. Legally. I'm a black minority. I'm a person that's a black minority. Either way you go, you're locking yourself into some stuff you don't need to be in. You gotta learn how to disassociate yourself from the words that you've grown accustomed to using to identify yourself.
We've just opened up a satellite office here on Western Avenue, and we want to let you know there's some new fighters in town. to help give y'all some relief from the suffering you've been going on. There's some new men, some new attorneys, some new teachers, and some new fighters in town to help give you some backup and some relief so that we can take this struggle to another level. I know it's frustrating. I'm in these courts all over America. I'm in these court systems in Oklahoma, in Missouri, in Maryland, all over America. And I've been involved in these struggles from the ground streets of Ferguson, South Carolina, elsewhere. I know what you all are suffering because it's the same suffering that we're suffering all over the country. And we want to let our brothers and sisters in Los Angeles, California know that there's new attorneys and fighters here that are here to back you up. And we are not afraid of the Los Angeles Police Department. We have no fear of them at all. We are not afraid of them. And I want to say this. You better be careful about putting your hands on the black woman.
That's right.
You hear what I'm saying?
Speak it.
That's right.
Be careful about the way you come out here. I'm talking to all these officers. You better be careful. I'm warning these officers. You better be extremely careful about putting your hands on the black woman in that way because there will be consequences. All right?
You can't do something, I'm black. That means you're dead. Legally. I'm a black minority. I'm a person that's a black minority. Either way you go, you're locking yourself into some stuff you don't need to be in. You gotta learn how to disassociate yourself from the words that you've grown accustomed to using to identify yourself.
Right? There will be consequences. And those consequences can come at any time. Now I want to say that you have to do what you have to do now, sir. Yes, sir. A closing statement from, again, Mr. Michael Noack.
You gotta learn how to disassociate yourself from the words that you've grown accustomed to using to identify yourself.
Oh, sure. Come on.
Okay. Are they saying that they were arresting him or charging anyone for pimping?
No. No one was charged. No one was arrested. It was only an unsubstantiated rumor. And from us, it appears to be merely speculation or racial profiling.
You can't do something, I'm black. That means you're dead. Legally. I'm a black minority. I'm a person that's a black minority. Either way you go, you're locking yourself into some stuff you don't need to be in. You gotta learn how to disassociate yourself from the words that you've grown accustomed to using to identify yourself.
Question. Question.
Yes,
going back to the contradictions, the officers trying to call him a pimp and whatnot, don't you think I find it ironic at the same time they're calling him a smart guy?
Yes, they also referred to me as a smart guy. This is actually the second day in a row I was physically assaulted by police. It's just this one I actually had witnesses and I also have video to confirm it. So that's why we're pursuing this one even more so. But this was day 2 of me being called an intelligent guy or a smart guy, just moments from coming out of a car. Do you see your face? So yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence. I feel I'm targeted for more reasons than the norm. That's right. And that needs to be addressed as well. Any other questions?
Were there any further encounters with the police?
Since then? No. I have no further encounters with the police since then. That night they told us don't talk. Every time we asked what was this for, they said shut up. They asked me where I was from. I said from Brooklyn, New York. They said, well, we're not NYPD. Welcome to LAPD. This is how we do things.
Stop hitting him! Why are you hitting him? That don't make no sense.
I'm helping him hold on. I got one. So obviously I need to hit him.
Hey, motherfucker! Why are you hitting him?
If you stop fighting, I won't hit him. If you stop fighting, I stop hitting him.
Keep on doing it.
All right, so we was told be quiet, and then we was told later on in the latter stages, if we behave, they won't write us a ticket and they'll just let us go. As weird and as ironic as it sounds, this whole event happened about 3 minutes from the time I stepped out the truck. It's nothing missing. There's no extra accounts of us doing anything that comes off remotely suspicious at all. I left the car, I went into the Western Union. They pulled out their guns, told her to come out. I thought it was a different female in danger, only to come find out it was someone that I was driving with.
This is what we know. This is everything. We come here to give you all of what we know up to this point. At this point, Mr. Polite is going to go fill out his complaint. I'm going to let him go and those that support him to go into the station to fill out the complaint. I will not be going because I would do my talking in that federal courthouse in Los Angeles. But I want him to go fill out his complaint. And I want the community that is here to support him to go in there and stand with him.
And I want to say this in closing. For the community, when it's time to fill out complaints, we should always come as a community. The LAPD deals with a great deal of intimidation. Jeez. In fact, many people were afraid to show up today in fear that the LAPD would behave like the gang that they are, behave like the terrorists that they have become. So a lot of us are in fear. Many people ask, what am I complaining about? They don't see no abrasions or breakage of skin on me. Though I have injuries, per the x-rays, serious injuries, as it hurts for me to stand here today. But I have to come out. We live in 2016 was a hell of a drug for black people. We gotta go into 2017 with a better scope and a better vision. What I mean by that is, don't think you have to nearly die or be dead for us to have to mobilize the people or respond. When black people are asking me, what are you complaining about? We don't see no breakage of skin. That means we've been desensitized to the whole terrorist threat of police enforcement or law enforcement throughout the country. 2017, we gotta go in with the right mentality. If they so much as breathe on you the wrong way, they don't have the right to invade your sacred space. They don't have the right to invade you or have a bodily trespass. Understand, anything that they do to you from this point forward, you have to communicate, and we cannot treat any act of police brutality as a separate event or isolated circumstance from the collective.
You say you go to school.
Your police brutality is my police brutality. My police brutality is your police brutality. And when they touch that black woman, I'd like to reiterate again, there's no more of a demeaning feeling when you are a black man.
You can't just say I'm black, that means you're dead. Legally. I'm a black minority. I'm a person that's a black minority. Either way you go, you're locking yourself into some stuff you don't need to be.
And you have to watch the black woman that...
You can't just say I'm black, that means you're dead. Legally. I'm a black minority. I'm a person that's a black minority. Either way you go, you're locking yourself into some stuff you don't need to be.
You are with, be physically abused. And you have to question yourself. Do I give up my life today? Will it be in vain? You have to question yourself. Is this what I need to do right now? With a gun to my head, the only thing I could think about was the black woman that I was with. That's right. With a gun to my head. So I'm telling you here, Los Angeles, California is not alive. It's a corporation. It's an entity, and the officers are behaving as agents of the same. All this merely means is that they have a unwritten insurance behind those badges. They're monetizing our oppression. They're making money off of our oppression. So there's an unwritten insurance claim behind every badge, which means there's statutes that correspond with the policies they're supposed to enforce. And each policy corresponds with a claim that is not supposed to supersede Article 6, the Supremacy Clause. You have the right. No one is giving them the right to undermine your unalienable rights. And by unalienable, we mean rights bestowed upon you through the universe, rights bestowed upon you by way of your creator. No one can undermine or circumvent the rights you have towards existence, or as far as existence is concerned.
I don't want to hear anything.